Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I'm just sitting here in my robe drinking my morning coffee looking sexy as hell as usual. And for those of you who say I don't look sexy as hell in my robe, nobody cares what you think. I don't ask you shit. So I'm going to ramble just a little bit about a topic of if we as powerlifters, if we do carry more body fat than we need to for our sport, and how things are changing in the ranks a bit. And the reality is, I was looking at some old pictures and I stumbled across one of my pictures. It's not a very good picture. It was taken with a webcam, a 15-year-old webcam. The technology was terrible, just one I snapped. But I'm highlighting this one for a reason, because this was a time when I was training for exclusively power at the time this one was videoed. I don't think I was doing very much over about 6 reps very often, other than for very short phases. So I'll link it here. And when I look back in retrospect, I was about 235, 240 in that photo, but I was carrying quite a bit of extra body fat, particularly for an enhanced lifter. I didn't necessarily have to have, but at the time that photo was taken, I could bench over 450 pounds raw. I could squat almost 600 pounds without a belt. Something like 585. I could hit it to full depth with no belt at the time. So what I have to think about is, if I had slowly taken that same amount of size and strength and had done a very, very slow cut and had trimmed about 15 pounds, 16 pounds of fat off, would I have been able to compete in the 220? You throw a belt on, you're talking about a 450 bench, well over 600 pound squat without wraps. That's pretty damn competitive. We see guys proving this today. Guys like Jamie Lewis, who went in his second powerlifting meet, he set a world record for the 181. The guy stays ripped to shreds. Dan Green, I see him in pictures anywhere between 8 and 10% body fat sometimes when he is at meets. And he's a world record holder. These guys are pulling this stuff off. And it's helping them drop a weight class by being leaner. The reason we don't do this is because we know as powerlifters that cutting kills our strength. A lot of us will clean bulk and try to gain as little fat as possible, but if you're bulking 6 months out of the year and you never do a true cut, you're eventually going to get pretty fat. There's just no way around it if you're just forever bulking. And it's not, if most of us in powerlifting, we're not necessarily concerned about aesthetics, but we should be concerned about our Wilks score. And if you're carrying 15 to 20 pounds more body fat than you actually need in order to maintain your strength or to hit your peak strength levels and leverages, that's a whole weight class. So it does beg the question of, shouldn't we be doing this? And the tricky part is, how do we do it? Because we know that when we cut, we lose strength. And I think the answer is really spending a lot of your year recomping. And I think that for me, that's what I'm going to be doing at this point. I've got this meet coming up. I'm in prep for that now. I'm actually dropping weight for it. I'm down to 220, and I'm down 12 pounds already. And I've done it just really by adding in more cardio and more squatting. And I'm doing a fair amount of cardio right now, and I'm slowly ramping it up. My lifts are suffering a little bit at the moment because I'm still getting used to new squat shoes and my weight is dropping, but I'm actually maintaining strength quite well on everything but the deadlift. So hopefully when I get under the meet weight, I can ramp that back up and then cut water for the meet and I'll be fine. But it does get me thinking, I've got another 6 months after that to work with. I'm almost considering adding in more and more cardio to keep my conditioning up and dropping down to as low as 210 pounds or so, and then clean bulking back up to the top of the weight class for nationals. And then what if I do the same thing the following year? I won't be winning nationals or anything this year, but I've got a lot of muscle memory. I used to be a bigger, stronger guy. Why can't I just do that? Because I've gotten to where I'm doing a lot of indoor cardio, video gaming and riding the bike. Why can't I just continually do that? And over the course of another year, stack on another 10 or 15 pounds of muscle just by recomping back and forth all the way into it. And it seems reasonable. And I think the trick is to really, for us as strength athletes, is to not push our weight up quickly if we don't need to. If you're already an advanced lifter, no amount of drugs or hard training or food is going to stack 10 pounds of muscle on you in a short period of time. It's just not going to happen. So accordingly, there's no point in you gaining 15 pounds in 2 months. Most of it's going to be fat, so there's just no point in it. And that's the thing that we've got to be aware of. When we're starting out, we're smaller, younger lifters, less advanced. We really need those big bulks. I needed some of these bulks in order to regain lost strength and size from me being sick. And it's really helped, but I have to admit I'm at a point now to where I can't get away with that because it's just going to be extra fat and it's going to kill my Wilks score. And I think that's something that as we get more advanced in the sport that we really have to take into better consideration of really watching how much weight we gain, and are we gaining weight faster than we need to and unnecessary, and is it not translating into functional strength, and is it pushing us up into a weight class we're really not carrying the ideal amount of lean body mass for. Alright guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative with my ramblings, and I will talk to you guys next time.